Did you practice essay test regularly or sometimes only?
How you used to manage the audiovisual mode of study and film?
What was your revision strategy throughout the preparation?
So I just wanted to ask you, what are the ideal things that we should consider before actually choosing an optional? Like, should we consider the length of the syllabus or how competitive it is? Like, what exactly is it? I'm very confused about that.
First actually question is, what went through your mind when you saw your name in the final list with rank 39?
I'm Rohin Kumar. I basically belong to Jhunjhunu district of Rajasthan, and I've started my preparation in 2019. Did my graduation and post-graduation from University of Delhi, then started appearing in the examination in 2021. So that was my first attempt, and I could not clear prelims that time. Second attempt 2022, I again could not clear the prelims that year. 23 was my third attempt when I cleared the prelims and mains and reached till the interview stage, but could not make it to the finalist. And again in fourth attempt, I could not clear the prelims, so that was a major setback for me. And finally, the fifth attempt, which was 2025, I could make it to the finalist with All India rank 39. So this is my brief background. So answering to the first question, so I was waiting for the result for for 1 week. There were some messages going on the Telegram that the results would be announced today evening. So something of that sort. So there was a festival of Holi that time. After Holi on 6th of March, we were waiting for the results. So basically I belong to an agricultural family from Rajasthan. So in the morning we were working in the fields, and by afternoon we came home and waiting for the results. So suddenly the PDF popped up in the Telegram groups, and I opened it and I typed my name. So I had my fears from the previous attempts of typing the names from 2023. But this time when I typed my name, I could find that the name was there. So I looked into the side of it to the serial number, which is the rank there. So I looked at it and it was 39. So I could not, it was a pleasant surprise for me and family members. So I told my father, my mother and everyone else in the family, and we were all happy, all crying, because it was a very long journey for me of 6 to 7 years, 5 attempts into this examination. Yeah.
Yes, so you have seen that so many attempts is required. You have to keep trying actually. Consistency that matters. Even for example, UPSC also have given annual report, and fourth attempt is considered as that attempt where most of the students have cleared the exam. Like for example, I think only 6% students are there, they have cleared in the first attempt, only 6%. And around 27% in the fourth attempt. So you have to keep trying actually, because in first attempt you will not able to understand the syllabus also. It takes time. Okay, so for example, what were the biggest challenge you faced in the initial phase of preparation? Biggest problems that you're facing, challenges?
I think for me and for every candidate, the biggest thing is to filter out the resources that are there. So we have this habit of reading everything, and even if people tell us, even the rank holders or anyone who tells us that you have to limit your resources, so that is the biggest challenge. We do not get confidence into such talks that how can we clear this examination just by reading one book for one subject. So that filtering of the content was the biggest thing. Apart from that, CSET was a big pain point for me in the initial 2 attempts, upon which I worked later. Yeah.
Okay, so at what point actually did you feel that this attempt could actually convert into a top rank?
So I was someone who always focused upon the mains part of this examination, because that forms the core of this. Around 86% of your mark sheet that is there, out of the 2025 marks, 86% is only mains. So I was someone who was always focused right from my attempt 1 on mains part. So after writing the mains, I had a good feeling that I could complete all the papers well before time and all the questions were attempted. So I had a good feeling that I'll make it to the list. But honestly, I was not expecting a double-digit rank. Yeah.
Okay, so one more question, that is for example about the daily routine. Most of the students keep asking that what should be my daily routine. So can you briefly describe your daily routine during your preparation?
Yeah, So my preparation was very long, I would say. So apart from the months that are very close to the examination, like 2 to 3 months before the examination, I was someone who would wake up like 6 in the morning. I'm a morning person basically. Waking up 6 in the morning, doing some morning walk or some running exercise, something like that. Then I would start reading. I used to make targets, different targets, especially of answer writing, of that, covering the main section, etc. But focusing upon those part of the year when the examination was very close. So I used to wake up like 6:30 in the morning, and I used to sit on my table like 8:30, something like that. And I used to read optional in the morning section. From morning till lunch, I used to read optional. After I used to have my lunch, some break, and after that around 3:30, I used to get up and used to read GS 1 to 3. So that was the second component, and third component was after the dinner, which used to be essay and ethics. So by this, I used to cover every subject every day. In the morning, I am having optional. In the evening, I am having GS 1 to 3, and during the night, I am having GS 4 and essay paper. So that was my basic schedule.
Okay, so next question is, most of the students again having problems about, did you maintain social interactions during preparation, or did you isolate yourself from the social media?
So initially I did isolate, as the typical aspirants convention goes, that we delete our social media handles and everything. I did that, and that was a big mistake, I would say, of my preparation, because you don't know if the journey becomes very long for you. After a point of time when most of the things would be covered from the academic part, the learnings would gradually decrease, and if you have isolated yourself from the social circles, then that will become a challenge for you, and you will dumb yourself down. I mean, you are just going to the libraries with the mundane routines. So that doesn't help. I did that mistake initially, and that costed me in my first interview. That in 2023, when I went to the interview room, I was very nervous. I could barely speak, and by the time I came out of the interview room, I was sweating. I had sweat on my face. So that is something I believe. After that, I realized that I'll have to do away with this thing, because that doesn't help. This examination, apart from the academic thing which we focus, there's a non-academic component as well, which involves your personality, in which you'll have to groom your mindset. So that is something we generally ignore. But now, sitting on this side, I can say that that is equally important. So please do not isolate yourself from your core groups, your friends, your families. So that gives you energy, and sometimes an added perspective to the thoughts that we are stuck into sometimes. So we are stuck into a loop of thoughts, and after 5 days we realize that okay, that was not something that I was supposed to do. So if you are connected with people, then it helps you.
Okay, good. So you have to keep posting 1 or 2 only, that's it, not more than that.
So I made my Instagram handle after my mains only.
Okay,
so
yes.
I stayed away from that largely. After my mains, I thought that okay, it is right time, I can do that.
So next question is, for example, what was your approach regarding current affair and newspaper actually? So how much time you used to give to newspaper daily?
So initially that used to be like 2 to 3 hours in the very initials, but gradually I could filter out, since I had good understanding after my second attempt of syllabus and the previous year questions that are being asked. So after you have that understanding, then you'll start realizing that which sections of the newspaper are important and which are not. So that helped me as well. So I used to give around 1.5 hours, not less than that, because that way you would anyway compromise upon some of the important news items. Along with that, what I used to do is that I used to make 4 or 5 different folders or files of that. So I had for GS 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 for optional. So if there's anything that is important in the newspaper that I can associate with any of the syllabus pointers, be it GS 1, GS 2 or any case study from any optional, so I would directly write that thing down. If there's any good keyword, any data point that can be written. So this way what you will have, that by the end of the year you are having a repository of good keywords, good data facts, good case studies, and also a chronological sequence of the events that have happened. So please do read the newspapers, I would say, regularly.
Next, for example, on CSAT, because CSAT instead of becoming a qualifying paper, it is became now eliminating paper for many of the students. So, what was your approach regarding CSAT paper?
Yeah. So UPSC has also changed its stance on CSAT. Earlier, it used to be sometimes that the people from humanities are getting an advantage because of the comprehension section. Sometimes people from the mathematics background, they are getting an advantage. But since last 3 to 4 years, we are seeing that a balance is being struck by UPSC. That not alone from any of the sections, be it comprehension or the mathematics section, you can clear the examination. And I've seen that happening with my friends as well. So after my second failure, so in 2022, I qualified the GS cutoff, but I could not qualify CSAT by just 1.5 marks. So I made it a point after that first I will fix this problem, because that is costing me every year. So what I did, that I sort of approached with a hybrid or a mixed approach, that I would go with both the sections. I was not very comfortable with mathematics and the reasoning portion, so I did very selectively those sections only upon which I could work and something that I can attempt the questions from. I did focus upon the reading comprehension sections very much. I mean, I practiced the last 10 to 12 years of papers of reading comprehension. So by that, I was able to, of the 20 or 26 questions, 26 questions are asked in reading comprehension, I could mark it 23, 24 to be right. So a major section of my score in CSAT, it came from the reading comprehension part only. So you can have your own analysis, I mean, based upon your strengths and weaknesses. If you are comfortable with mathematics, you can capitalize upon that. But I would suggest that go with a mixed approach, that do not ignore any of the sections, because you never know what kind of paper UPSC might put before you. Okay.
Okay, so keep just focusing on CSAT paper also. Okay, it should not be eliminating paper. Okay. Next is actually, when did you seriously start this answer writing practice? Because most of the students, whenever they join the classes, they start focusing that whether we need to do answer writing from the day one or we need to wait for some time.
Sir, I personally believe since I was a humanities graduate, so we used to write during our graduation as well. So after I started my preparation, I started with the answer writing as well. So I'm someone who doesn't believe that you have to make it an event, that you will start answer writing after this point. So there's no specific to that. After you are into your preparation of 1 to 2 months, just start attempting the questions. You will not write good answers for sure initially, but that is how it will start. You'll have to start at any point. So it is better that you start early and start attempting the previous year questions, or start attempting the questions which are already attempted by the toppers from previous years, so that you can have a comparison as to where you are standing and which all are the things that you need to work. So it is better that you start early, because answer writing in itself is a very gradual process. You'll learn, you'll realize after writing like 100 questions that this is how a good introduction is written. This is how you can sort of compile your points and make diagrams alongside. So that's a very gradual process. It is better that you start that early.
And now comes to the essay paper. So what was your approach towards essay preparation? Did you practice essay test regularly or sometimes only?
So before prelims, I used to write like in 1 week or 2 weeks, I used to write an essay. I used to show it to my friends, and sometimes what we can do is that just put it on ChatGPT or other AI tool, Gemini. So that will analyze it for you, that what all are the things that can be done. Talk to your mentors if you are connected to them. Just show them that this is how I am writing. So initially what I did was that I followed that the standard pestle approach that is there, that you have to form your arguments into political, economic, social and these sections. So after my first mains, I realized that this is not working nowadays, because people are not generally getting rewarded for such an approach. Instead, someone who is writing for the first time and writing it very random in the sense just they are being very expressive about the topics, then they are benefiting. So I saw the copies of Harshita Goyal. So she was ranked 2 a couple of years back. So I saw her copies. So she was writing very naturally, like having a discussion with upon the topic. So there's a basic framework that you guys can follow, that of the question that is given. You'll have to write the thesis part. Thesis part is something within which you have to focus and write in favor of the topic that is given. like the question statement that is there, you will write points which will favor that. I'll give you an example as well for that. Second part would be the antithesis part, which would sort of counteract to the question that is given. Third would be synthesis, that after thesis, antithesis, you will synthesize that and you will give a way ahead in the end. So there was this question in 25 that thoughts find the world and creates one also. So how I wrote it, that the thesis part that was there, which will support that how thoughts find the world. So the inventions that went from I mean we can trace from the history, human history. So how thoughts find a world, how thoughts create a world, you can write examples in that. Then there's an antithesis part to this as well, which is that how thoughts can destruct the world as well. So that was the antithesis part, wherein you are questioning the very topic, and that balances your argument that you are writing. In the end, we can write like how thoughts can create a better world. So we are facing the challenges of terrorism, the climate change, or other polycrisis that is currently going in the world. So this is our thoughts can make a big difference here. So this is how you can do it. So that was my basic approach.
Now comes to the interview part. Okay, so how was your overall interview experience and what kind of questions that you were asked? Because most of the time a student is having myth कि any random questions they can ask. Like for example, we got in WhatsApp forward this question was asked in the UPSC interview. Okay, so just let them know whether they ask any random question or it is based on DAF only.
So in my initial interview, that was in 2023, my sole focus was, so I was not able to speak English at that time. So my sole focus was that I have to master speaking good English. So I made it a point, and whenever I used to attempt for the mock interviews so I used to discuss it, sir, how can I improve my communication. So that was a big mistake. I realized it after I got a very poor score that year, 130, which sort of, that was the reason that I could not qualify in 23. So after that, I realized that the communication part upon which I am focusing, which is the speaking part, that is important. But that in itself is not something that can help you. So after that, it is important that you just express yourself with your original ideas. That is all that they are looking for. So they have their own ways of testing your personality. They anyways will do that. So the nature of questions that were asked, basically they are from your DAF, the entries, the hobbies, things that you have written. They'll ask you from that, or they'll help you analyze the current affairs that are going. So they asked me this question, like Donald Trump is saying that climate change is a hoax. Do you believe in this idea? So I gave my own arguments. Then the lady member asked me that are you reminded of any climate change related events from the past? Can you connect it to the Harappan civilization? So I said, yes, ma'am. There were instances of flood that led to the decline of Harappan civilization. So it is more of a discussion kind of a thing. I mean, they'll start with the point for sure, but the questions that would be adding upon that, they would largely be based upon the kind of responses that you are giving to them. So that is how it goes. So it is not the typical coaching mock interviews that are there. They would make you comfortable. So there was a friend of mine who was feeling very hot. He was sweating. So the chairman asked that, are you comfortable? So he said that, ma'am, I want to remove my blazer. So she said, okay, you can do that. And she herself moved from her place, and there was a cooler in the room. So she moved that in to his side. So they make you very comfortable. All they need is that you are being original before them. You are presenting yourself to be very original. So that helps. Yeah.
So you already know that's how interview, because most of the time these students, they are actually watching interview and mock interview on YouTube. So वहाँ पे most of the time they keep grilling. Okay, but that is not the real interview.
No, okay. They don't do it. I mean, if they find that the student is being uncomfortable in one set of questions, then they'll change the questions for you. And mostly they listen to you. Here they are grilling to you. They want that you speak more and more on the topics. Yeah.
And what was your revision strategy throughout the preparation?
So what I used to, for prelims and mains, that used to be different. So I used to make short notes after having 2 to 3 readings. I used to make short notes of that. Like if I'm able to do that separately, for spectrum I did that very separately. I was able to compile from 1901 to 1947, I compiled all the important facts that were there into just 5 pages. So making short notes becomes very important, and revision, as sir said, that it is in itself is very crucial in this examination. We tend to read more and more things, but if we are not revising them, then that is not something that we would be able to use in the examination. So do that. Attempt test papers after you are doing your revisions. Then you will realize if there are any gaps into that. Come back to your original sources. Please do not change your sources just for the sake that you are not able to solve the questions. It may be that you are not able to recall the thing, or it could be that your skill set to attempt the questions is not sufficient enough. So for that, please do not change your sources. Stick to the original sources that you have started with. So that is something that will help you. People are clearing this examination just by reading Spectrum, by reading M. Lakshmikant, and the basic resources that everyone is following. Yeah.
And so UPSC preparation can be very mentally challenging also. Okay. So how did you handle this stress during the preparation?
So initially I was very particular that I have to be very sincere guy, and I would spend my time into libraries and that only. But that started costing me after 1 or 2 attempts, when most of the things that the academic thing that were done, that I was not reading much of the new things. So I started diversifying myself. I mean, I connected to my friends that were there from my college. One thing that I used to do on very regular basis, that was that I used to do physical exercise. In the morning, I'll have a morning walk, and during the evening, I'll spend 1 hour on the physical exercises. Just go to a gym and I mean, spend some time there, or you can do anything of your liking as well. Do some painting, reading, or anything. Just do not spend much time in the rest periods that we are having. We tend to that we are taking rest, but we are scrolling through our mobile phone. That doesn't help, because you are not giving rest to your mind. So it is important that in the rest time you actually give rest to yourself. So physical workout was one way out for me.
So what are the most common mistakes aspirants should avoid actually during the preparation?
Okay. So first would be to blindly copy anyone. So if you are hearing to some rank holder or some topper, please do not blindly copy to them, because everyone have their separate journey of academics. They have their separate journey of learning right from schooling. And we tend to go after our graduation, when we are into preparation, we start following X topper, Y topper, and we are detached from our original self in that. And when we do that, we could not bring out the maximum out of ourselves. And when it comes to the examination, then that is the point when we fail, because we have adopted someone else's strategy that was based upon the person's own original self. So please don't do that. Second is comparing to others. Please do not compare yourself to anyone in this preparation. You are competing with your own self. After my 3rd attempt, I made it a point that I'm not comparing to anyone else. If I'm finding myself better than yesterday, then that is enough. So please do not compare that the X person is reading such resources, I'm missing out on these things. So please don't do that. And third would be, don't make this examination larger than yourself. Sometimes we do that spending lots of time into this preparation. What we do is that we are so attached to the outcomes that we define ourselves entirely from this. I mean, apart from the examination, if someone asks us something, we are not able to utter even a single word. So please do not let this thing define you entirely. Next would be that people generally go after reading lots of resources. Please make a resource list and stick to that. If you are having more than 1 or 2 books for a single subject, then that is going to cost you an attempt for sure.
Yes, definitely. This is very big statement and good. Ki UPSC exam is not actually larger than your life actually, correct? Because even for example, you are not able to clear the exam, 1 or 2 years you will feel bad. But after 10 years down the line, I think you will not realize that UPSC is not that big, because many big events will going to happen in your life that will be much bigger than UPSC even.
It is just another examination. You have been giving examination and clearing them right from your childhood, in 10th standard, 12th standard, during your college. So there's nothing different to this. we did because of the things that are very external, that creates lots of lots of environment around it. So please stick to yourself, stick to your personality, your original self. That will help you.
Okay, next is hypothetical questions. Suppose example, if you had to restart your preparation, what would you do differently actually, so that you can clear in the first attempt only?
Sir, I would start with PYQs. That was my biggest mistake. So I sort of picked my first PYQs in third attempt only. So I would start with PYQs and understand the examination very well. So I had this hangover from my graduation, academic hangover. So I was my college topper for 3 consecutive years. So I started with the preparation with that hangover, that I would clear this examination without having a basic understanding of the examination. So that didn't help me. So I would start with the PYQs. I would limit my resources. I would not read multiple books on. So I did that initially. I mean, I was making notes on NCRTs from 6th to 10th. I did make notes on that. I was making very heavy notes on newspapers. Like I'm making notes on Lakshmikant, that of the 10 pages, I'm writing 3 to 4 pages in my own notes. So that doesn't help you. So just simplify the preparation. The more you would do that, there are high chances that you would clear it very early. And focus upon the things which are important. Prioritize the things. I mean, if you're reading a reference book, then you don't have to read it cover to cover. Just focus on the sections which are expected out of you looking at the syllabus. If there are 5 topics that are mentioned in the syllabus, just read that. You don't have to read the complete book cover to cover. So prioritize the things so that you can help reduce your efforts and utilize and streamline them properly.
Yes, exactly. So before purchasing Lakshmikant, please purchase PYQ and syllabus first, because they are the UPSC best friend.
Right.
They will tell you what you need to do in exam. Okay, so one is, what one myth that you want to break that is completely myth about the UPSC? Okay, so any myth that is prevailing.
So I would in fact say 2 here. First is that you have to read 15 hours. You don't have to. 6 to 7 hours of consistent study on regular basis, that is enough. Just keep working on taking feedbacks and having self-reflection and introspection upon something. 6 to 7 hours of preparation for 1 year, that is enough into this examination. That at the outset it might not appear that what he is saying, but that is true. I mean, you can do that thing. Second is, perfectionism is a big myth in UPSC examination, that you have to perfect everything. You have to write the perfect answers. You'll have to revise it perfectly. You'll make the perfect notes. So that is not humanly possible. You are just appearing for an examination. Do the bare minimum and the things which you think which are useful from the examination point of view. So people generally, what they do is that when the attempt approaches, what they do is that I'm not prepared enough. I have not written these number of tests. Someone has said that you have to write 50 tests and I've only written 30, so I'm not prepared. You have your own strengths and weaknesses. So please focus on that. There is no thing as such like perfect attempts, perfect answers, perfect notes, nothing like that.
So these students, they keep changing perfect strategy also on YouTube. Okay, so how much they need to utilize YouTube, or they need to focus on books?
I mean, that would depend which all things you are covering. Like if you are using it for examination perspective, just write the topics that are there, have a basic understanding of that. I mean, there's no formula that you have to use this much only. If you need to revise something and that is available on web or YouTube, you can do that. If there's nothing, then you don't do it, please. Just that don't lose your sanity in these this short form of content that is coming. It is making us impulsive. It is just reducing our capability to think broad and analyze and interconnect things. So very near to your examinations, please, what I used to do is that I used to stay away from YouTube, Instagram, these reels and short form of content especially, because that doesn't help. It makes you impulsive. You become restless after like 20 to 30 seconds, because we want to consume something new and newer. So you'll have to write an answer. You'll have to write a mains paper for 3 hours in morning, 3 hours in the evening. Next day you are repeating the same thing. So for that you need some kind of mental resilience. So work upon that, build your mental resilience, do meditations on regular basis. Yeah.
And you must have seen very low phases also during the preparation. So what actually kept you consistent even during those low phases?
So after my third attempt, I could not make it to the finalist. So I was very confident that I have understood the complete examination, reaching to the final stage. This year I would make it anyhow, but the very next day I could not clear the prelims. So I mean that was a major setback. I gave one or two other examinations and could not clear all of them. So that was something that hit me very hard, that I'm not made for these things and everything. But it is here that when I was mentioning earlier that you are connected to people around you, your social circles, your friends, teachers. So by this time I was connected to them, my family was there. So they were constantly supporting me that, okay, just give one more chance. And so I decided that I've started this preparation and I did lots of hard work for 4 to 5 years. Then I'm not going to leave that hard work just for the sake of 1 year. So I would attempt one last time as an hardcore aspirant, that I'm taking resources from my parents and appearing for this examination. So I made it a point that this is the last attempt. After this, if I do not qualify, then I would do some other job and prepare simultaneously. But it worked this time.
Yes, it works actually. So what was the role of the optional paper, because that is also very important for the UPSC especially to get the rank. So what role actually optional paper actually has played in your life?
So essay, ethics and optional are the three things which are most decisive in your main score. So particularly talking about optional, geography was my optional. So I did geography in my graduation, post-graduation. So the basic conceptual understanding was very clear. All I have to do is to read according to the syllabus pointers that are there. So I used to make notes, one-pager notes on each one of the pointers from the syllabus. Then I used to write previous year questions. So in optional, previous year becomes all the more important than other parts of the mains examination, because you would see that there are areas which are getting repeated. So if you are able to predict at least 30 to 40% of your paper beforehand, so I had these questions prepared beforehand, that this would be my introduction, this would be my conclusions, because these are the questions which are getting repeated almost every alternate year. So that was my approach, and in my first mains I scored 266 in geography optional, and this time there was a jump of 20 marks, so I scored 286 in geography, and that helped me.
Yeah, that is good score actually. Okay, so any question that you want to ask? Anyone? Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, I had a query about covering of current affairs. Like how do we cover current affairs, because it's becoming very difficult to cover magazines along with job. So that thing I'm concerned. Job.
Okay, you're doing okay, got it. So if you are able to find some time, like 1 hour or something of that sort, please do read the newspapers. I'm emphasizing upon the newspapers because that doesn't only cover the news items that we generally think that current affairs is all about. So for prelims, I mean, you can do that in 2 to 3 months, but the other cycle of reading current affairs from newspapers, that is very enriching from the mains point of view. You would have a good vocabulary, you would have many of the issues, a good understanding of the issues beforehand only. That sometimes might not be covered in the compilations that we are reading, because these were the original ideas expressed by people of expertise from different fields in the newspaper. So find out some time that you are reading the newspapers. Even if you are not able to do that, please read the FAQ section that is there, I guess, that explains the key issues. In Indian Express as well as in Hindu, they have this page. At least read that. Apart from that, in your traveling time or something, that try to look at some of the current affairs videos or any compilations that are provided. Yeah, that helps.
Sir, would it be fine if we don't do magazine and rely only on a newspaper and make notes out of it and rely on that?
For that, you will have to have an understanding as to which news items have to be covered. So if you are if you are having a look at the magazines and also, then you will get an idea as to which all are the things which are important from the examination perspective. So everything boils down to the fact that whether it is important from the examination perspective or not. If there are compilations which are very lengthy and you are not able to revise them properly, then it doesn't make any sense. But if you are reading them on regular basis, then they would also serve the same purpose. It is just that have the habit of reading some literature as well. That is why I was focusing upon the newspapers. So at least reading the editorial section, that will help you. Reading the IR section, what helps that the international relations, so it is asked like 45 marks, yes. 50 marks of IR is asked, and that can be managed from the newspaper reading only. That's what I believe, that if you read for a complete year, then you'll have a good repository of keywords, events that could be interconnected. So you can have a mixed approach as well. I mean, why you don't you have to do newspaper or compilation? Just pick very smartly. So that applies to other parts of the preparation as well. Just be very smart which all are the things that you have to pick and which all you leave out.
Thank you, sir.
Great. All the very best.
Congratulations, sir, for 39th rank. I have a couple of questions for you. So just wanted to understand like how you used to manage the audiovisual mode of study and self-study, because from what I understand, a lot of human mind clearly captures the information when it is done in an audiovisual mode rather than a self-study. But how you used to balance it? Because from what I go through is when I do the audiovisual mode, let's say I am in front of my screen, I am studying, then what happens, let's say कुछ समझ नहीं आया, तो then I jump on to the topic to understand it, then I Google it, then from there it becomes a chain of things to go on, and then I get distracted. So how you used to manage it?
So I think I would disagree a bit here because we all have different journeys of learning and understanding. So I was someone who grew up in an environment where we are reading all the things from the books only. So I used to make my notes as well from in the notebooks only. I used to read from the books only, hard copies only. So I did not had this challenge in particular. Okay. But sometimes that happens that you are opening for something. Just have some timer. I mean, if you are very close to your examinations, like 4 to 5 months, just put a timer of 5 minutes on YouTube. So that you would be, if you are lost into that browsing, then you would be reminded that okay, 5 minutes is done. So that was done for a specific reason. So that is one thing that you can do. Just put a reminder on that.
Yeah, thanks. So next question is, sir, like your journey has been quite long, like it had been almost 5-6 years you have been in this journey. So as you also mentioned that you were the college topper, so you could have thought of the next day you graduate from your college, you could have landed in something earning, right? But you choose this journey, and then again you went to 2023 interview, and then unfortunately you were not in the list. But have you ever thought कि इसके बाद क्या अगर ये नहीं हुआ, that 2023 attempt, let's say, just for an example, because you were too close to the goal and still not catching it. So how you keep yourself motivated this long? Because from my perspective, what I go through is like, even if let's say I'm giving mocks and like 3 mocks I don't clear the cutoff from what I keep in my mind, I get demotivated thinking कि भाई नहीं होने वाला है. So for you being in a real scenario, going on interview, clearing prelims and then not landing there, how do you cope it up?
I got it. So for that, your why has to be very strong. I mean, why you started the preparation in the first place, that has to be very strong. No shallow motivation would work. No grand entry videos of IAS officers or IPS officers that would help much in here. So your why has to be strong. My father was an advocate. Later he became the panchayat head was. So I used to see that people used to come to him, and when they used to solve some of the issues that were related, so there was satisfaction. We used to be happy that we were just discussing about someone else's issue in the family, and one day we are finding that the problem is resolved, and we all are happy. Despite not being connected to that particular person, we were happy. So that thing was inculcated me from the very initial, and my father was very particular about it, that you take your time. So one thing is that you have to look at your progress as well. You will get that feeling whether I'm where I'm heading into this preparation. So after my third attempt, I scored very less in interview, but my main score again was very good. So I had this feeling that just that I have to improve my interview score by 30 to 35 marks, and that would help me get into the list. So that was something that that helped me, that I just have to improve this thing. And there's an additional aspect to this, that most of the people who come from the middle class backgrounds, we have this, that we have to break that generational curse that is there. We'll have to come out of that loop, not only for us, for the family and for the coming generations, so that they could act out of will. Many of us who are starting with the preparation, that might not be our original choice to start with. So at least create that for your future generations.
So I know my why, and it's also like there are n number of things which I also do apart from this preparation, which even if I don't clear this exam, that is not a problem. I will keep doing those things for the country, for the people. I will keep doing those, but that is not the thing which I am looking for, because I know this exam is only a 0.1% chance which I am looking at. And I do that feeling ever come to you ki, of course not now, but ever in your journey, ki I am wasting almost my prime years of my, like, the full potential which I could have utilized it somewhere, any of your dreams which was not this.
Now I can say this thing, but earlier somewhere that was there in my mind as well, that if you do something with your honest efforts, that will pay you somewhere. If not exactly there, then somewhere. So let me tell you this. So when I appeared for the 2023 interview and could not clear it, so after that government started the Pratibha Setu portal that is there. So I was just before 20 days before my this result, I got a job in Ministry of Youth Affairs as District Youth Officer or Assistant Director. So your hard work, it pays you somewhere, at some place or the other. It is just that you have to have that faith. Sometimes it is all about having that plain faith. You don't have to analyze it, that what if it works out, what if it doesn't. Just have that plain faith that I've worked for it, and somewhere it will work for me. And believe me, it does. Sometimes more than your expectations. Just 5 minutes before my this year's result, I was sitting in a separate room apart from my family members, just scratching my head that what if it doesn't work out this year. And 5 minutes later, it is rank 39. So you never know. It is just that keep working and have that plain faith, nothing extra. That will work for you someday. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm good.
Congratulations, first of all.
Thanks.
So yeah, you started in 2019, as you said, and 2025 you cleared. So you have seen many ups and downs, improvised your strategies and all. So my question is not about preparation and all. My question is more about the life lessons that you have learned, and it teaches you a lot of things, the preparation and all. So what changes do you see in yourself, in your personality? And even if you are not selected, let's say, how would you take these lessons in your life going forward? So yeah, how would you see the things, differently, I would say. So yeah, I remember the first class Pawan sir said that, see, first day you're starting, you have to behave like an IAS officer yourself, right? But 5-6 years every day thinking same thing, okay, everything I'm gonna do, wake up at 6, prepare and study every day. 5-6 years is a very long journey, but still you have been consistent. As I said, you have seen ups and downs, a lot of things. So how do you, going forward, how do you see these lessons in your life, and how you take to apply those?
After all the mistakes that I have done in all the stages of this examination, I realized, there are a couple of things. One is your mindset that is there, the self-confidence that you have for yourself despite failing. You'll fail, next day you're crying, but you're having that confidence that I'll do it. You're just sitting on the chair next day. That resilience has to be there. Second is just outgrow your fears. Whatever fears and insecurities that are there in your mind, just outgrow them. That will lead you to success as well. And if not exactly that part which you are looking for, then it will prepare you something big for you. I mean, I started believing in these things very late, but destiny has its own plans for you. So it will prepare you for that. So just work upon your fears. Anything that you fear about. I used to fear a lot about communicating. I mean, after results, whenever I used to go to a seminar, I used to like, how will I speak? I used to write the whole, sometimes read at it as well. So gradually you will see that if you are being that जिद्दी टाइप कि मुझे ये चीज़ करनी ही है यार, so you'll find your ways into that. Next would be having faith in yourself is very important. I started realizing this thing very late, but if you want to excel into something, then you'll have to be apart from everyone else, you'll have to be very confident about you. If you are someone who is cursing yourself in the morning, afternoon, that यार कहाँ फंस गए, क्या कर रहे हैं सारी चीज़ें, then that self curse doesn't help. More than that, it is important that you are pampering yourself. These things might sound a bit out of the box, but these are very basic things, and they shape your attitude and mindset for very big things which you might be appearing. So self talks becomes very important. Just manifest the things which you want to do in life, and you'll see that they'll happen to you. So I'll share an incident with you. There was a friend of mine. So he appeared for interview in 2022. So he sent me his photographs that, look Rohin, I'm wearing this suit, this tie and all that. So how is it looking? So I looked at it and I was in awe कि यार क्या अच्छा लग रहा है, मतलब कल तक हम घूमते थे and he's wearing this suit and all. So I दिमाग में ये था कि next year I would be wearing the same suit when I would be appearing in the 2023 examination. That was my sole objective for that year, that I have to wear the same suit next year, and I was doing that in 2023. So just be very simple about thinking about life. Just manifest very simplest of the things and dreams that you do. Yeah, and be very ordinary in your approach and humble. Just be humble about it, and it will help you. I still work whenever I go to, after this seminar, if I go to my home, I'll work in my fields. So be rooted from where you are coming. That will help you, and that will help you reach to the highest of the positions that you might not even have imagined. Yeah.
Congratulations. So how did you manage the pressure of not earning even after 5 years of your graduation? You were the class topper, you were doing great, you could have gotten yourself a good job, but 5 years after graduation, you're still not earning. There are a lot of societal pressures, a lot of societal voices, a lot of family voices that might come, your voices, that inside voices that might come. How did you manage all of that pressure?
So I would say that after my 4th attempt failure in prelims, one of my friends suggested that something that you have learned, the knowledge that you have gained, if it is not materializing into examination, just try to bring some value out of it. Join some coaching institution that will help you boost your own self-confidence as well. So I started working as freelance in some of the institutes. So that way I was connected to the process as well and earning a bit as well, so that I could have that confidence. But I did not used to tell it to my parents because they were very particular that you have to study only. But I used to take that time out for myself. Yeah. So I started earning a bit after my 4th attempt's failure.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that helps you boost your confidence. You earning 1,000 rupee or 2,000 rupee, that helps you that I'm doing this on my own. Yeah. So try to diversify if things are. Look, sometimes what happens when the journey becomes very long, then there's something that you are stuck into a loop. So that you'll have to break that monotonous thing and that loop that is there. So break it, diversify a bit, and it'll work for you.
Sir, actually, most of us are working professionals. So I am working daily for 10 hours a day. So can you please provide the hierarchy for the preparation?
Okay. So one thing that I generally suggest is that you'll have to steal time whenever you are working. You're going to your office, just steal half an hour. make your targets that for the upcoming 1 week I have to read these 10 chapters of Lakshmikant. That is your sole target. No rigid timetable that I'll wake up at 6, study till 7. It is just that you will have to complete that target for that 1 week. Take out time during your lunch, during your traveling, or wherever, if there's any spare time that you could find out. So this is one thing that you are stealing time, like 10 minutes somewhere, half an hour, sometimes 5 hours, sometimes not a single hour. So this is something, be target oriented in your case, that might help you. I have to write 5 essays in the upcoming week, then I'll write those 5 essays. If I do that 2 days, I'll chill for the 3 days. If I'm not able to do that, then I'll be putting my efforts towards that. Yeah.
Means, for example, first we have to cover NCERT, then classes like that also. Can you please tell?
So just I would say filter out the resources, because you are not having the luxury of time. So filter out the resources, which all are the NCERTs that are important. For polity, there is this 11th class NCERT, Constitution at Work, that is important. For geography, you'll have to necessarily read the 11th and 12th class of NCERTs. So just filter out the resources, watch the toppers videos, and just make your own resource list. Talk to your mentors out here, and they'll help you prepare a resource list, and do not deviate from it. At any point, do not deviate it. Just consolidate it and stick to that.
Hello sir, congratulations for your success first of all, and my doubt was on the optional side. So how we can select an optional first of all, because it wasn't very important in this phase. So can you please tell me that?
Yeah, on the first thing that people generally do is that they try to connect it to their academic background. If there's a subject that is of your liking and that you have done during your graduation or post-graduation, then that thing helps in the sense that you are clear with the basic concepts. Like if you are a political science graduate and you have taken anthropology as your optional, and you are struggling with the basics for the next 5 to 6 months, then that thing doesn't help. It is better that you go with PSIR or public administration, because you are already having some sense about the set of information that would be available. So this is one criteria, that you go with your academic background. Second is the subjects of your liking and the trend that is there. Sometimes people also go with that which all are the optionals but that exercise I think becomes very complex, as well as if your journey prolongs for 1 to 2 attempts, then you might feel that this optional was faring well in the previous 2 years, but not this year. So it is good that you go with a subject of your liking. That will help you.
Actually, as I'm from the electronics background, it's not in the optional, so that's why I
think it is there. Electronics is electrical engineering.
Electrical was there, so that's why I'm asking to confuse to select an option.
Then choose a subject like socio or anthro. These are the things that are working for people generally these years, because they have a defined syllabus. That is defined in each case, but the resource list is limited. It is just that if you have to start something from scratch, then do something that can be done easily. One is that one criteria that people generally do is that the overlap between the GS papers that is there. So I did geography for that one reason, that I am able to cover geography from GS 100 marks. I am able to do GS3 a large number of sections. If you are having PSIR as your optional, your complete GS2 is completed almost from there. Your sections of society and that are also covered from there. Sections from ethics are also done from there. So
on the CSAT side as well. So which time is good to start on the CSAT? Before the 3 months, before on prelims, like that?
I think you can start 4 months of preparation, because CSAT is all about having a good strategy of how you manage or attempt the paper. So I think 3 to 4 months is a good enough time. Because, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Congrats on your selection. My question is, there are many of us who are still studying in the college, undergrads. So whether we should go for a job or full-fledged preparation after our undergraduation, or should we go for like masters related to our options like that? Any sort of suggestions?
In this, I would say, I mean, it depends upon the background and the family things that are there. So if your family is supportive about things, just give one attempt, one honest attempt, so that you will have an idea as to where I stand into this preparation. So that you do not have guilt after 5 years, that you start with the job and after 5 years you are realizing that what if I have started with the preparation. So you are fresh at this point of time. What you can do is just attempt 1 year. Start in the final year of your graduation with the preparation and attempt the very next year. Along this, do not stop your academic journey that is there. Go with the masters, fill a form for the masters and attend the classes. I mean, you can manage that somehow. We all do that in colleges. So don't stop your academic journey, but do attempt for, I would say, at least one for the examination. After that, if you feel that you or your family or if they need a job, then go for it. But don't stop with the academics. I did that mistake, but after 2 years, I have to sign up for the mains. For the masters. So, yeah.
Hi, congratulations, sir. Yeah. So my question is that there are a lot of serious aspirants here, and likewise you have answered for a working professional also. And I've just started with my UPSC journey. So I'm a working professional also. So I just want to know if a working professional has to keep up the momentum with the aspirants who are studying for 8 to 9 hours. How would we even keep up with that? Because comparing with the person who is studying for 8 to 9 hours, a professional cannot actually give that much amount of time. A maximum of he can take 4 to 5 hours by studying either in morning or after a tiring day he comes from office to home, and he gives his rest of the time. So because you'll always have a sense of fear that I might be left out when in comparison with other people, and even if you fail at after your attempt, you would think that okay, I have not given my best of the time when it compared with other professionals.
I think having less time in this preparation is a blessing. I mean, studying for 10, 12 hours, that thing doesn't really help after 1 or 2 years. So it is good that you are having a crunch of time and as well as having some time as well. Like 5 to 6 hours of studies, that is more than enough. I was saying that earlier as well, that is enough. Near to your examinations, let us say if you are having your prelims in May, then just start rationalizing with your job in March. And for mains, I would say take leave for 3 months or 2.5 or 3 months. So apart from that, do that with your job only, I would say, because that will not, you will not stuck into the typical aspirant thoughts that are there, the typical aspirant problems that are there. You would be confident, you would be in connecting with the people around. So that will always add to your perspectives, and that will help you. You'll find some good ways of managing things from your job as well. So please do that. I mean, earlier I had this notion that it is important that you spend most of your time on preparation, but people are clearing it. Every year they are doing it now, and that number is increasing now in the recent years, that people are doing that. Just manage 2 to 3 hours in the morning, 2 to 3 hours in the evening, that's it. And apart from that time stealing strategy that is there, that is enough. Just that when the examination is approaching, you are taking some leave or so that you can manage that.
And one more question about the bouncing back from the failure stage. Now, if a person, an aspirant who has given his 1 year of hard work, of time, day and night, even after giving of so much of time and hard work, if aspirant is not able to clear it, he would have that thought that okay, I've given so much of time, even after so much of hard work I've failed. So when you were in your journey, when you experienced this thing, so what was your bouncing back of mindset, that what kept you going, that no, I think I have this in me, that I can clear this?
So I would say don't be impatient. I mean, despite reading everything, attempting all the papers, having good examination as well, you might not get the results, and that happens every year. So there was a friend of mine, it was her last attempt, and she wrote like 3,000 answers for this year mains, and that is huge. I mean, we were not able to do that, but she could not clear even the mains examination. So that happens with people, but if you are having a number of attempts that are there, it is just that it will work for you someday, and you will not even able to realize that how early that has happened with you. So you'll feel that it is not happening, and suddenly you'll feel that okay, it happened. It is that simple. It is just, I think consistency is the most important aspect of this preparation. After 2-3 years of hard work, people give up on that. They start being impatient that it is not giving results. Things take time. I mean, big things when they happen. They say that Rome was not built in a day. So things happen, they take time, and you will not realize that it has happened. One day you'll see that you have your name in the prelims PDF, then mains PDF, and it will work for you. It was not working for you for 4 to 5 years. So there was a friend of mine. She was not clearing prelims for 4 subsequent attempts. She was not able to do that. She attempted 2 foundation courses from different institutions. She did everything, but that was not happening. She was crying before the examination in 2024. She cleared the prelims examination. She cleared the mains examination, and she cleared it finally. And the next year, in 2024, she got into Indian Civil Account Services, and this year she could again clear the prelims. Just that there was a shift in her mindset, that she was confident about that, and she was detached from the outcomes. So we attach ourselves so much with outcomes that this should happen. That might not happen with you. Okay. So there are lots of factors that are working. This is a competitive examination. You are being assessed with respect to someone else. So despite putting your best foot forward and with the best of your abilities, there's a person who might take an advantage because of the person's natural abilities or something that happened during the evaluation or something of that sort. It is just that you are the one who is going to clear this examination. So be consistent about it and wait for it. It will happen for you. Yeah.
Thank you, sir, and hoping to stand next to you in coming future.
Yeah, all the very best to you for that.
Hello, hearty congratulations to you. Sir, in your whole journey from the first attempt to your last attempt, what was something that stayed with you and what was something that changed or made it much better in the end?
I would say my hard work stayed with me. I used to do hard work in the first attempt, did that all my attempts. So that I was very passionate about that if I have to write, if I made a target, then I would be someone who would do that at any cost. My friends used to get angry sometimes. I have to skip some plans, some family functions as well. But if I made a target, then I'll do it at any cost. So that stayed with me. And I would say the examination changed me in many ways. One is that it made me more humble. Initially, I was very aggressive, that I would read 15 hours, I would do this, that, attempt 60 papers, 70 papers, or in other aspects of life as well. But gradually, setbacks after setbacks, then it made me humble after. I was humbled by the end. Okay, just surrender after your efforts. That is what I understood in the end. Work hard and just leave it. It's not in your control. There's something that is working that might work for you. Yeah.
Thank you.
And my first attempt's approach would be that I was saying to my father that I would get a rank below 50. And he was smiling at that time. And when we discuss it today, that you were very impatient, you were very desperate that I'll get it at any cost. But gradually, in my 5th attempt, I was like, ठीक है, कुछ मिल जाए तो ठीक है, नहीं मिले तो, and it happened. So this was the change.
Good afternoon, sir. Congrats again. I also had a similar question related to the optional. Like you mentioned that your optional was geography, but geography is kind of a pretty competitive optional. Like many people tend to take it. So I don't know if I'm right or not, but if many people tend to take an optional, the paper, like it is likely to come tougher. So what are the ideal factors and I am not connected to the humanities subjects in any way. So I'm fine with studying any subject for optional as a matter of fact. So I just wanted to ask you, what are the ideal things that we should consider before actually choosing an optional? Like, should we consider the length of the syllabus or how competitive it is? Like, what exactly is it? I'm very confused about that.
The thing that you are discussing about the score variation, the toughness of the papers, that varies, and that is something that is not in our hand. So there are certain uncontrollables in this examination. This is one thing. UPSC takes down the subject after 2 to 3 years. Geography used to be there in 2016-17, but in 18-19, UPSC was very heavy on that. But gradually, the scores improved in geography. So the most practical aspect that I personally believe is that the overlap of the subjects, one. Second is that how easily you can cover that optional. These are the two most practical things. Geography is having good overlap with the subjects with the papers of GS. Like out of the 250 in GS paper 1, and that is the sole reason that people score good and not score good in GS paper 1 is geography is being the decisive factor. So I was someone who scored above 100 in both the attempts, 102 in 23 and 115 in 2025. So that overlap is something you are having, that you are able to make diagrams very easily, you are able to make maps very easily and integrate them. So I had this habit of making maps, and I used to put them in history questions as well sometimes. So there was a question on how does geography of a place impacts its history. So there was this question in 2023. So I made a map that how geography was impacting. I wrote about the Indus Valley settlements that were there, how the Hunas and they moved because of drying of the pastures in Central Asia. So you can always make diagrams with geography helps you with that. So that pictorial representation is something that is there with geography. And second is that if the syllabus is short, like I have not a first-hand experience of this, but people generally complete anthropology and sociology very early. So that is something that you can go with. Yeah. And look at the papers. If you are having some, I think having some interest is also very important. So after you have taken physics and that is very scoring, and after 2 years you are realizing that you are not enjoying the subject at all. If you are not enjoying it, then you will not be able to perform in the examination. Yeah. So the length of the optional, your liking, and the overlap. These are the three things.
Sir, one more question I have. What would you say as your major mistake which led to the issue in the fourth attempt, because you have already cleared the prelims, mains and mid-till interview, and I would like to know what's the mystery in this prelims, what does it demands, because I have seen many aspirants who have cleared prelims, main, mid-till interview, but still next year they are not able to clear prelims.
So there were a number of things. First was that hangover of third attempt, that I've reached the interview stage. I was overconfident that time that I would anyways be clearing the prelims. I was seeing that when I was attempting the mock papers, the score was less compared to the last year, but I was being ignorant about it. So overconfidence and being ignorant about your mistakes is something. So I was getting a sense that I'm only scoring 70, 75 marks in my prelims GS papers, but I was ignorant that I would be able to manage that in the real examination. But that didn't happen. When the mark sheet came, it was 76 only. So in 2023, that was the toughest paper in like 5 to 10 years, and I scored 25 marks more than the cutoff that year. And after a full interview that I've given, that very next year I was having 12 marks less than the cutoff in GS paper. So overconfidence, and I would say being ignorant about your mistakes. And there's one most important thing that is there, doubt. If you start doubting yourself, if you are having that fear somewhere in your mind, that after reading everything you have that little fear कि यार कुछ गड़बड़ हो जाएगा, यार कुछ गड़बड़ तो नहीं हो जाएगा, वो बहुत छोटी सी चीज़ है, but it will impact you. So don't have an iota of doubt. Just be very confident about it. Examination hall में जाओ, अपने कंधे ऊपर करके जाओ यार, एकदम से अपने चिन ऊपर करके जाओ. So these things help you. अगर कोई ऐसे सिचुएशन में फंस जाओ कि वहाँ से निकला ही नहीं जा रहा है, so just smile there. एक छोटा सा स्माइल करो and you'll find your solutions. So these are little things. Just don't doubt about your hard work. जितना कर लिया है, take ownership of that. So there would be one thing that I want to add, that of all the stages, I've mentioned this earlier as well. Please आप इस चीज़ पे focus कीजिए that you are working on your mains. Mains पे बहुत अच्छे से काम कीजिए. That will help you. I mean, last year it was 765 in mains, 130 in interview, and I could not make it to the finalist. This year I could improve the interview score by 35 marks from 130 to 165, but again that is not a good score. The selected candidates are having an average of 185 plus, so again I am below average in interview, but I pulled in mains. Earlier I was 765, this year I have scored 851 marks, so I am rank 7 in mains in all India. So that's my rank in mains. But due to interview, I was pulled down to 39th rank. So with a score of 190 or 185 plus, I would have been in a single digit rank. So work on your mains. Okay. So that's the most important part. And it takes time. Just believe in yourself, yeah. I mean, you have been doing examinations. This is no different. Just have your own strategy. अपना दिमाग लगाओ कि यार ये पेपर मैं कैसे क्लियर करूँगा. That is important. कोई टॉपर क्या बोल रहा है सुन लो उनसे कुछ चीज़ ऐसी मिल पा रही है तो ठीक है, अदरवाइज डोंट कॉपी टू देम ब्लाइंडली.
Okay, so any other doubt? No. So first of all, actually you should not think about there is a failure in the life. There is nothing failure in the life. You have to learn every time. Only thing is whatever you want to achieve that you have not achieved, but what God wants that you should achieve you already achieved, but you have not noticed it. So we need to follow Gita. Okay, Krishna's message. Okay, so because see there is nothing like failed. Okay, even though for example in UPSC also if someone has giving a serious attempt, I will always say that individual either will going to clear the exam or definitely going to something better in the life in other areas. Okay, that student will not going to fail at all.
So there's a quote by Winston Churchill which says that success is not final and failure is not always fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. So be consistent about what you are doing.
Okay, so done everyone. Okay, thank you.
All the
for
very
this
best.
session.
Yeah. And अच्छे से करना यार, कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ और मस्ती के साथ हो जाएगा. सब होता है, टाइम लग जाता है कभी कभी, बट होता है. अगर आपने 2-3 साल अच्छे से मेहनत करी है देन इट विल डेफिनेटली हैपन फॉर यू. यू आर गोइंग टू डू समथिंग गुड इन लाइफ.
Okay.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you.